Just under a year ago, my car got totaled. Then, with the insurance payout, I made the biggest purchase of my life, this FD RX-7. Everyone says buying someone else's project car is a nightmare, but what if it's not just some dude's project? What if it was once a 6-figure, professionally built car bought from a dealership? Would it still be shit? Will I regret my decision? To find out, I first had to get it roadworthy. Then, instead of babying it, I raced it 4 times and almost doubled the mileage it's done since being built. So, here's everything that's happened since buying the car and whether buying a finished build was actually worth it.
There's no dash lights in here, so Adam's got his phone in his jacket so that he could see the gauges.
None of the lights work on this car, tail lights or otherwise. And then I found this blown 15 amp fuse, so I replaced it and then I smelled burning electrical. I used my little sniffer and sniffed around the whole car, kept sniffing, and then I found this dead short here. I unplugged it, and then as soon as I unplugged it, all of the lights came back. This is the surprise waiting under the FD's passenger seat. This foam was holding moisture and starting this rust here. Be able to hopefully grind this down to metal and spray it and prevent the rust from spreading or getting any worse. The next step is to do something a lot of you will hate, and it is to delete the pop-ups. Why am I removing them, you might ask? 1, fitment is awful. They contact each other. Kit and hood, just fix the kit. It's all one piece. 2, the light output's kind of dookie and the pop-up motors don't work. And 3, which is honestly my biggest issue because everything else is fixable, is I don't like how the pop-up looks with the wide body. There's too much room after the pop-up. The proportions are weird. It looks like it's got chubby cheeks. I don't vibe with it. So instead I got $100 Canadian Ariama Mia legit Gen 1 headlights off of Marketplace. They're super beat up, but I'm gonna make it work. Everything went pretty easily, got some LED upgrades for the actual lights themselves, and then I decided that I would make the other lens out of polycarbonate because it was like $500 to get a new pair, and I was like, fuck that. So anyway, I tried to make it myself, but it worked terribly, especially this heating process, trying to bend it and form it. So I gave up on that and just cut it and then let the bolts that I put into the headlights bend. We're almost there. This is so cooked. All right, here goes first drive of the FD. Oh my God. Chill. Oh my God, it hates going slow. I thought the speedometer did work. Why isn't it working anymore? What is going on here? Well, that didn't last very long. I wonder if we're running out of gas. Oh my God. It cannot go slow. Every part of this is visceral. Oh my God. It's like 12% throttle. Partial throttle, not happy. Dude. Gotta clutch it. I can't. I don't know what to do about that. Jesus Christ! Has a lot more power than when I drove it on 3 cylinders. Is that a V8 in there? Yeah, it's LS3. So we're about to see how painful this fill-up is. Gas right now is 214.9 a liter for regular. And for me, it's gonna be 244.9. And this thing takes 80 liters. Wow. This wide body makes it really difficult to fill gas. As you can see, I'm jammed against it here. And this filler thing looks so ugly, so we're gonna have to fix that at some point. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's gonna last me like 2 days. The car really doesn't like driving very much. The car is fucked. I wonder what I'm gonna do about that. Hopefully that's tune related. 2,000 RPM and higher. It seems to be okay. Okay. It's just like a rotary, dude. The rotary also had a crossover point where it wasn't smooth at all and would do this bucking thing. Haven't tried windows up yet. Sounds the same. Thank you.
You ready?
Oh my God.
So I made it to the beach, but barely. I knew at this moment I'd have to learn how to tune. I'd never actually done any tuning before, so was a bit nervous. But after pulling the current timing map up on my laptop and seeing a literal typo, I figured, you know, I probably can't make it much worse. After remapping the timing and fixing some e-throttle issues, it was time for its first race day, and I still wasn't feeling too confident in the existing tune.
Okay, we'll do nothing. What the? It didn't listen. It didn't listen. Oh, I don't want my car to blow up. I can't afford it.
But races gotta race, so off I went. After all, the car has been driven on this tune for long before I got it, so it's gotta be pretty decent. But thanks to my frontal lobe being developed, I decided to take it easy on my first run, just in case. So it was fine, right? Car didn't explode, nothing to worry about. Wrong. The air-fuel ratio went way too lean, especially while on throttle. I treated the rest of the day as a test and tune, ending at 50th place out of 91 drivers and 5th place out of the boys. I sorted the tune out, and a couple weeks later was race number 2. Here I'd finally be able to start pushing and hopefully put up some good times without any car issues. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had other plans.
It's so wet! It's so wet! It's actually raining so wet! This is so fun! Oh my God.
Clean the stop box, clean.
That's awful.
To make matters worse, it was the first rainfall in a while, so it was extra slippy. Not exactly the best conditions for 525 horses to go through an open differential out to 295 semi-slicks, but we got a drier run later in the day and managed to squeak out 36th place out of 88 drivers and 3rd amongst the boys. Next race was the car's biggest challenge yet. The first half is a mini 4-hour road trip before racing on an airstrip. Surprisingly, the car didn't miss a beat, unlike some other cars. Starting off the morning with a check engine light. Stupid Toyotas. Anyway, we ignored the MR2's problems and the light went away. We then stocked up on some sustenance and all that was left to do was race.
So in the second part on the pad, you were too deep, too aggressive.
Where it approaches timing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Both of them really, but that second one, that's a half a second right there.
Armed with local legend Ken's advice, I went for my last run of the day, hoping to put together a clean and fast run. Over half a second shaved. Thank you, Ken.
Nice.
That resulted in my best placement of the weekend, which was 31st out of 55 drivers and 3rd among the boys. At this point, I had gained a lot of confidence in the car, but was still feeling a little down because I was still way behind the pace I would have been at in my old RX-7. With a massive road trip looming, this next race would be my last in almost 2 months, so it was time to make it count.
Still make up time coming up to that keyhole braking. You broke a little bit early still.
You're talking about at the end of that big straight?
Coming, you do the 180, come back. Yeah, there's definitely like probably a second there just alone on that braking.
The knowledge you just heard me receive is from AutoX and Z31 God Grant. I was lucky enough to have him coach me this event, and as you can see, he is a wizard when it comes to tire management.
They should be like somewhat even between. So that would be overinflated.
Okay.
If that's the the ground surface, right?
Right.
So more contact in the middle if it's overinflated, underinflated less, and the two outer sides are getting the friction. You can kind of dial in your tire pressures by these readings.
Right.
So if you know across there, if that's half of say 14 is 7, so yeah, maybe it's slightly high the temperature. Definitely giving up some traction,
Right.
some grip.
Okay, I got 2 runs left in the day, but Sean is going after me, and he's been known to make some hero runs. So I really got to lay it on the line here, fix that one braking zone hopefully this time, stop being a weenie, and stay ahead of him.
Beamer ABS still probably pretty good.
42.0. Holy fuck. I don't know if it was clean, but if it is, 42.0. I don't know though, I don't know.
Turns out it was clean, and thanks to Grant's help, was my best placement ever at 7th out of 91 drivers and 1st among the boys. So, do I regret my decision? Not at all, but I think it has less to do with the car itself and more to do with the cool people around me. This car is the best though.